This is the regular meeting of the Mobile City Council, Tuesday, March the 17th. Please stand for our invocation led by Reverend Tony Laguerre, Public Safety Chaplain, and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Well, it's always a pleasure to present our public safety chaplains here week after week, but it seems like the last few weeks I've been the guy, and I'm not complaining, but Father Dan Good is enjoying a St. Patrick's event, and he's in his priestly green garb even now, and asked me to come and stand in his behalf. Good morning to you. So we'll pray together. Our Father, we just bless you today on this good day that you've made. We humble ourselves and submit ourselves to you and say, Father God, is there something that we could do to bring honor to your name? Maybe it's in serving our community and looking for needs to meet. We pray that you bless our leaders today, Lord, our young mayor, that you would be strength to him, our council people, this table. I pray that we all might benefit from the enablement of the Holy Spirit of God. Would you smile favorably upon our city as we honor you? In Christ's name, amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, President Small, Vice President Gregory.
Here.
Councilmember Penn.
Here.
Councilmember Ingram.
Here.
Councilmember Reynolds.
Here.
Councilmember Fleming.
Here.
Councilmember Woods.
Here.
Statement of rules.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
President Small is representing the city at the National League of Cities right now in D.C., Washington, D.C., so you've got me today. The rules this morning, I'm just going to simplify them all. If you would just either turn off or turn to silence any of your electronic devices. If you come down to the podium to speak, please give us your name and address all questions to me. I am the chair, and I will at that point direct or allow any of the other council members to speak to or ask other questions. So streamline rules today. Ms. Carroll, if you would proceed. Thank you.
Approval of minutes of March the 10th.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes approved.
Communications from Mayor Chirigaudis.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Morning.
Well, I need to start the day by wishing everyone a happy St. Patrick's Day. We have a few things to talk about this morning. One thing I want to recognize is the success of Mobile's cruise terminal. The staff at the Mobile, Alabama cruise terminal continues to prove why Mobile is a top-performing home port. Since Carnival Spirit returned in October, we've welcomed more than 41,000 passengers and parked over 10,000 vehicles. Those numbers reflect high demand for cruises out of Mobile, with the average voyage sailing above 100% capacity. I haven't figured out how that's possible, but it's possible. Our staff continues to deliver a smooth, efficient, and welcoming experience to those passengers. We're also proud that 344 disabled veterans have received free parking at the terminal while sailing out of Mobile. This is a small way that we can give back to our veterans and recognize them for their service, and we're happy to do it. The cruise terminal team exemplifies service and excellence daily, and I believe our director, Sheila Garganis, is here. Sheila, will you stand, wave everybody? If y'all help me give a round of applause to Sheila. You've never met somebody more excited about steel tables for luggage at a cruise terminal. Coming up, we're offering Mobilians an easy way to safely dispose of common household items our sanitation crews can't pick up, like paint, pesticides, fluorescent tubes, fertilizers, and household chemicals. So Saturday, April 11th, we're hosting our next household hazardous waste collection event. It will be at the Seals Community Center. That's Saturday, April 11th. Our environmental engineering department hosts these events to give Mobilians an easy and free way to do the right thing and dispose of these potentially hazardous materials safely. These events discourage illegal dumping and help keep potentially hazardous items out of our waterways and our landfills. Since 2022, the city has collected more than 164 tons of hazardous materials from Mobilians at events just like this one. So bring all of your stuff down on April 11th, Seals Community Center. Please participate and help us keep our waterways clean. It's my joy to offer some congratulations to Bishop State. Congratulations to the Bishop State's men's basketball team on winning their conference championship last week. The Wildcats are advancing to a national tournament in Kansas that'll occur later this month. I just want to let the folks at Bishop State know that the city's behind you, and we wish you the best of luck in this upcoming national tournament. Work continues to move quickly along St. Louis Street in this Complete Streets project that we're engaging in there. Despite the major renovations, the sidewalks, side streets, and businesses are still open along that route. You can still get to your favorite restaurant, brewery, event space, and shops. And so we encourage you to please continue to support the businesses as we improve that roadway. We know it's a little disruptive right now, but the $17 million investment will deliver a safer, more accessible St. Louis street for many years to come. And lastly, I have a proclamation. March is National Kidney Month, and it's a time to highlight the importance of kidney health and the life-changing impact of organ donation. This year, it's especially personal to us at the city as we celebrate the successful kidney transplant of our Executive Director of Administrative Services, Mr. Joe Snowden. We're grateful for his continued help and his leadership at the City of Mobile. So one round of applause, please, for Joe Snowden. Nobody's ever insisted on getting back to work more quickly after an organ transplant than Joe Snowden. I promise you that. Now, if I can, I'm going to call up Mr. David Sweet, the CEO of Nephrology Associates, and I will read this proclamation. If you want to take the podium, Mr. Sweet. Whereas March is recognized as National Kidney Month, a critical federally recognized time to raise awareness for kidney health, chronic kidney disease, and the urgent need for organ donation. And whereas this month highlights the need for early detection, encourages registering as a donor, and brings global focus to kidney health for all. And whereas over 35 million Americans are living with kidney disease and over 90,000 are waiting for a kidney transplant. And whereas with 86% of the national transplant waiting list comprised of patients needing kidneys, there's a critical shortage in the impact of both living and deceased donation. And whereas Nephrology Associates encourages promoting education on kidney health, which affects 1 in 7 American adults, and strongly encourages the registration and spreading awareness of the life-saving potential of transplantation. Now I, Spiro N. Charigatis, the 109th Mayor of the City of Mobile, do hereby proclaim the month of March 2026 as National Kidney Month in the City of Mobile, and I encourage all citizens to take charge of their health, check for risk factors like diabetes and high blood pressure, and consider becoming an organ donor like me. Thank you.
I would just like to point out in Mobile, we have over 17,000 CKD patients.
Push your microphone. Oh, hit that button right there on the front.
I got a loud voice anyway. So we have over 17,000 CKD, chronic kidney disease patients in Mobile County. That's a large number. There are a lot more risk factors in the South because of our lifestyle, the way we eat. And then, you know, like the mayor said, kidney disease is mainly caused by untreated hypertension or untreated diabetes, whether it's type 1 or type 2 diabetes. So please, if you have hypertension or diabetes, please treat it. That's how you avoid having to get a transplant. There's other causes like, you know, congenital problems and stuff, but the main ones are high blood pressure and diabetes. So please treat that. Thank you for having me. I think this is my first city council meeting I've ever been to. And thank you, Mayor, for the proclamation. I'm sorry Dr. Lamar couldn't be here to accept this. He wanted to be, but he's treating kidney patients right now. So thank y'all.
Thank you, David.
Thank you so much.
All right, and council, that concludes my remarks. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ms. Carroll?
Adoption of the agenda.
Oh, sorry, let's go ahead and
I'm sorry.
Mr. Penn has a proclamation. We'll do that now.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Can I ask Nigel Hill to come down? As she come down, I have a proclamation that I would like to read. Whereas Siobhan Scruggs tragically lost his life to gun violence at the age of 16. He was a bright, talented young man with a promising future. He is celebrated not only for his athletic achievements, but for his positive influence within the community. And whereas in honor of Siobhan's memory, his mother, Nigel Hill, founder of Mothers Involved Against Gun Violence, will host a Youth Day event March the 21st, 2026 at Figures Park, honoring Siobhan's legacy, highlighting the importance of community support in the prevention of gun violence. And whereas Mother Involved Against Gun Violence, with the support of 260 dedicated members, have organized countless events over the past 4 years aimed at educating youth and families about the devastating effects of gun violence. The organization has actively engaged with local schools to share Siobhan's story, as well as to inspire and empower others to make a positive life choice. And now, therefore, I, Councilman Corey Penn of District 1, and the members of the Mobile City Council do hereby honor and celebrate the life of Siobhan Scruggs and proclaim March the 19th, 2026 as Siobhan Scruggs Way Youth Day, done at the City of Mobile, Alabama, the 17th day of March, 2026. Can we give the family of Siobhan and his mother a great big hand?
Good morning. It's an honor to be here today. As this will be my 4th year having Siobhan's Youth Day. Behind me today, I have some of the youth that has been attending these youth days. It's to understand peace, you have to understand pain. We are losing our youth at a high rate. And it's an honor to stand here today, to be here to share my son's story. Siobhan wasn't a boy that was out here doing the things that we typically see out here today. He was a little boy that had a temporary job. He played football, he played basketball, he ran track. And he was just at the wrong place at the wrong time. And when I go into the schools that unfortunately is connected to my job, I share his story, and I want the youth to understand that sometimes you got to recognize the signs of people that's not really our friends. What I'm seeing happening now with the City of Mobile with Dr. Tate and Mr. Curtis Gray, it's something that has never been done. We're walking kids home from school. You know how important it is for someone to let you know that it's safe to just walk home. And we are doing it at LaFleur High School now, and we're also doing it at Williamson. And it makes a huge difference when we all can come together. I have an event coming up that's called Rise Against Gun Violence. I have emailed all of you all. And what that's going to be, I don't have to speak again. I just want to go ahead and say it now. It's going to bring communities together. It's going to be a different look, because how many kids don't even know what a bike is? How many people don't know what fun it is? That was fun for us when we were kids. So if you can go into a different park or a rec each month and ride with your child and get to meet people and stand up and speak and learn that it's okay to say something when something goes wrong. We got to all come together to change what's happening. It's not competition. I understand violence because I was a victim of violence. So how can I say I'm fighting gun violence if I have never experienced? That's what makes my fight different. So it's an honor today to have a day that remembers my son that lost his life at 16 years old in front of a park, 500 feet from a police station. If we're killing people in front of a police station, then we all need to do a different review. Just because it's not happening in your district today doesn't mean it can't happen tomorrow. So let's stand together, and I thank you all so sincerely for having me. And remembering my son, his password in his phone was, when the detectives looked at it, was I'll be great one day. I'll never stop fighting until he's great one day. Thank you all.
Thank you so much for coming down, and thank you to all the family and friends who were here with you this morning. Thank you for coming.
Adoption of the agenda.
So move.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Appeals, we have requests for a waive of the noise ordinance on March the 29th on Airport Boulevard, April the 17th on Dolphin Street, April the 2nd through the 4th on Dolphin Island Parkway, April the 11th at McNally Park, April the 9th at Langham Park, and June the 13th on Ziegler Boulevard.
So moved.
Second.
All right. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? They all pass.
Public hearings. Today is the public hearing concerning B&B Auto Record suspension from the city's record rotation list.
I know there are people in the audience who would like to speak to this, so if you will come down and introduce yourselves. This is a public hearing.
I believe the appellant goes first, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to see everybody. Thank you for all you do. I'm Will Phillips, Green & Phillips. I'm an attorney and I represent B&B Towing. Brad Walker here and Holly Walker. They've been in business 43 years in the towing business, and they've been on rotation for many years in Mobile. And this is a hearing, I guess, appeal of sort. I'm coming into this late, but you have before you, Ms. Gregory, I'm just, do I have the floor? Or,
Pardon me?
I'm sure, this is not my, this
You
is
have
one of
5
my first
minutes.
times coming to a hearing ever, you know?
Yes, sir. And what is your question? I'm sorry.
Okay, so do I just have the floor to go ahead and discuss this matter now?
Yes, and you
Okay.
have a time limit, so I would go ahead and get started. Just tell us why you were here and what the appeal is about on behalf of your client.
I want to be very brief. I
Okay.
can do that. Brad Walker's owner of B&B Towing. This is regarding a suspension of 60 days, taken off rotation for some different reasons listed on this letter in front of you and from the Mobile Police Department. And anyhow, this mentions that this vehicle, okay, can I take some testimony? Can we just do that real quick?
Yes, sir, we've got the time, so go ahead.
Okay, just state your name real quick.
Okay, I'm Brad Walker. I'm the owner of B&B Record Service.
Tell us about February 16th and what you were doing that day and what your company does and how towing works.
Okay, we was at Mardi Gras doing impound. On Saturday before this, I had a truck that had trouble, had engine trouble. I had trouble, so I could not get it fixed on Sunday. So Monday, I come down to work Mardi Gras. I came down and picked the radio up in one of my personal records to come down. I was going to dispatch my other truck. I went over and sat on Contact Street at Claiborne. I sat 6.5 hours, never moved the truck, never cranked the truck up to run any parade route. I watched the parade. I sat behind Officer Goodwin the whole time. He says I never moved. I didn't come to work. I just come to dispatch my other truck.
You mean not tow with that
Not-
truck?
not
You're
tow with the truck I was
You're talking
in.
about a 2017 vehicle that you were in that day, and that's the vehicle at issue,
Yeah,
correct?
the vehicle at issue is my personal record. It's a 2017 Dodge Ram 5500.
Go ahead.
That truck has been off my insurance and off my rotation list this current year. It's not been used. It had the frame broke on it, had to get it repaired. I came down in it just to sit and dispatch out of it. I never moved the truck. I never attempted to pick up any impounds with that truck. Officer Hodge came over. One of the other record services went and towed him. I was sitting there in the truck with not a permitted truck. I didn't have a current sticker. That truck has been inspected about 7 years straight, but not this current year. It had an inspection sticker. Officer Hodge comes over. I get out and he says, I don't have insurance. He wasn't at his desk. I had the insurance put on that truck that morning at 8:15 before I left Citronelle with it. So it was insured. I had proof on my phone, had insurance on it. I am guilty of not having a tag. I didn't know I didn't have a tag on that truck. I'd had some tires come off and knocked the whole tailboard off and knocked the tag off at the same time. So I am guilty of currently with no tags on the vehicle at the time. So.
And what about now?
It does now. It had insurance, it had tag on it then.
And this is a certificate of liability insurance that you provided, Officer Hodge?
Yes.
Okay.
No, I didn't know. He didn't ask for it.
Okay, but it was in
Yeah,
effect.
it
and
was
this
in a-
shows
it-
that it was in effect back in November of 2025.
Yes,
and-
that's the whole
and current.
policy.
Yeah,
That's
this
the
includes
whole.
all the vehicles, including the 2017 Dodge Ram.
Okay.
And he has since had an opportunity to see this, has he
Yes.
not?
So, no,
Okay, so what you're asking, okay, so during this time, you've had suspended from the rotation 18 days, is that right?
yes, I was off for 18 days before I could get back on.
And you really like to get back on, and at these Mardi Gras events, the city of Mobile has how many wreckers?
I think they were working 4 trucks. Each independent company has 1 truck. You bring 1 truck down. The city of Mobile runs everything they got in their fleet.
And that's usually 4 to 6?
Yeah, I know it's 4, and we compete, and the city of Mobile competes with us on a private level, you know.
Okay.
I mean, we're trying to make a living. I'm a small company, and it's hard to make ends meet with the insurance and the economy the way it is now. The fuel price is $5 a gallon, and I'm competing with the city of Mobile on an everyday basis with the city of Mobile. So, you know, in short, I mean, this is a vital part of my business. The city of Mobile is.
And how many vehicles right now? I'm just looking at this insurance policy. We see several trucks that you have insured. How many do you have in operation right now in your company?
I think 5. We're
Okay.
actually working now. The city of Mobile, normally keep 2 in the city of Mobile.
And if you were on rotation, this is how many vehicles a day your company's pulling and moving?
Well, it's hard to say. On an average day, we pull them. Well, I tell you, the night before, the Sunday before I got suspended, we done 9 calls that night. And so after I got back on,
Yeah.
Thursday was a week ago, we done averaging 5 or 6 a day.
So,
you know.
so given an average, if you've lost 18 days already, how much money have you lost? I mean, just
Well,
ballpark it.
It's hard to predict, but city impound's $200, you know, based on that. A city record's $200.
All right, Mr. Walker, that's your 5 minutes. Let me just, any council members have questions for Mr. Walker and his attorney while they are at the podium? Mr. Woods?
Yes, ma'am. So kind of just reading the narrative, I guess, that was laid out, and just reconfirming with the facts I hear. You picked the radio up, you went and I guess I went and sat, and you were dispatching off the radio that you
Yes.
were, and at that time you had 1 truck operating.
Yes, 1 truck operate.
How many, just out of curiosity, how many, do you recall how many how many tows you did off of that
Done
one
none.
truck?
Done
none.
0.
Okay. All right, thank you.
And
Hang on one second. Any other questions? Mr. Reynolds?
Just make sure I understand the truck that you were using to dispatch out of, that was not the one truck that you had on duty to do towing. You had an
No.
additional truck.
No, I had one truck on rotation that day. The one I was in was not an inspected truck, not a currently this year inspected truck.
Okay, and the citation you received from the city, did it cite you for not having a tag on this other truck?
Yeah, it's got on there.
no, not the other. He's saying on the other truck. You were good on the other truck that was ready, that was doing the tows.
But the truck you were using to dispatch out of, were you cited for no tag for that
I was
truck?
not cited for no tag. No
On
citation.
either of the trucks that day?
Sir?
On either of the trucks that day, were you cited?
No.
Okay.
And you're asking them to please let you come back on rotation now and factoring in, you've already had 18 days there lost.
Yeah.
And I just want to bring real quick to y'all's attention, when they list some of the prior things, they're saying in October 28, 2025, they were temporarily removed from call list for insurance.
Sorry.
That was 13 days
Okay,
lost.
we've already completed our 5 minutes. Any other questions from the council? I just, point of clarification, it was a little hard to hear. The audio in this place is pretty bad. You're saying that you were sitting in a personal vehicle, but you had another truck on rotation.
Yes, ma'am.
In your personal vehicle, you were not going to tow anybody? You were just there, you were parked, you were watching the parade, basically?
Yes, ma'am.
But all of your trucks have been off rotation for 18, no, just,
only that truck. That was
which truck?
The truck I was in.
Your personal truck?
Personal truck.
And you use it for towing?
They used it for personal towing for the state of Alabama.
But it is used for towing, but it was not being used for towing on that day of the Mardi Gras parade.
True.
And so that is the only truck that has been off rotation list for the city of Mobile.
That truck was not currently inspected.
Okay, the lady behind you is shaking her head. I'm confused about these two trucks in the rotation.
This is Holly.
I'm sorry, my name's Holly.
Okay, come closer
He's
to the
not-
microphone so we can hear
He's not
you.
understanding your question, but no, our whole company was off rotation for those 18 days.
So
Madam
all
Vice President.
trucks.
I just want to make sure we keep order here. Each speaker is allowed 5 minutes.
I know, but I'm
Each
asking
side is
questions.
allowed up to 4 speakers, for and against. So if this is another speaker coming to the microphone,
Okay,
the
so
clock
you
would need
were
to stop for
the
this.
I'm just clarifying
Yeah,
what you
okay.
were asking.
I know, we're just trying to stick to the rules, but you're the third speaker, so we'll just keep that in mind. But I had questions, I'm just trying to
Yes, ma'am.
get straight. So all of your trucks have been off rotation for 18 days?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right, that's what I needed. Any other questions from the council before any other speakers?
Madam,
Before
I'm sorry.
Ms. Ingram, I'm sorry, she has a question, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. My question is, what did you present? You said that you did not present the insurance to the officer on site. What did you present? What documentation did you present at that time?
We offered to give him anything he needed, but he did not ask to see it. Like when we offered to show that we had insurance, it was like he didn't want to see that. It was just straight to the point. We were suspended. We needed to go.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions from the council? Mr. Woods, did you have
One more question.
one more question?
And I'll be done. Outside of Mardi Gras, we all know where the vehicles get relocated to. But outside of Mardi Gras on an everyday basis, where are you towing vehicles that if you get a call on the rotation, where are we towing those vehicles to?
Towed our Moffett Road yard at 8085. 3407 Moffett Road into the impound yard. All impounds go to city impound yard.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other council members? All right, thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. All right. I know we have some members of the Mobile Police Department here for the other side of things. If you would just give us your name.
Good morning. My name is James Harrod. I'm Assistant
Can
City
you
Attorney and Legal Advisor.
Move the microphone over a little bit so we can.
Assistant City Attorney and Legal Advisor for the Mobile Police Department. And this is Corporal Hodge. If you will, just briefly introduce yourself to the council.
Good morning, I'm Rusty Hodge, Traffic Safety Unit.
Okay. And in your duties in that role with the Traffic Safety Unit, do you coordinate for the records for the city?
I do the record compliance.
Okay, I'm going to ask you all if you will come closer to that microphone and
ma'am.
speak up.
We'll get close. Is there a ordinance that was passed by the council regarding how the record rotation list goes?
Yes,
Do you remember right off the top of your head what that ordinance is?
it's chapter 63.
Okay. Have you had occasion to work with B&B Record Service?
I have.
How long have they been on the record rotation list?
I'm not sure. I've been in the position 4 years. They've been on since I've been on.
Okay. And what led up to the notice of violation and suspension that you issued?
I received a tip that B&B Record Service was at Mardi Gras working for the city in a truck that was not permitted.
Okay. And is a record service allowed to have more than one record in rotation during Mardi Gras?
They are not.
Okay. Did you do an on-scene inspection of the record?
I did.
What did you, does the ordinance give you the authority to do that?
It does.
What did you find?
First, I looked for the tag on the vehicle. There was no tag displayed on the vehicle. I looked for the city-issued permit in the lower corner of the windshield, which was not there. And that's really all I needed to complete my inspection.
Okay. How did you determine that the vehicle did not have insurance?
I keep their insurance they submit on file on my email. So I went back and looked in my email, and the most current certificate of insurance that they have presented to the city of Mobile did not list the 2017 Dodge truck.
Okay. Did they mention to you that they had gotten insurance that morning?
They did.
Did you have any verifiable proof of that?
I did not.
Okay. Did they offer you the updated certificate of insurance that morning?
They did not offer the certificate of insurance.
Okay. Why specifically does the ordinance require all these, the records to be in compliance with the ordinance? Or why does the city require that?
For the general safety of the end user, the consumer, and the city itself.
Okay. Have you had other instances where B&B Record was not in compliance?
I have.
And if you would tell the council briefly about those.
This is actually the second offense where they've had a truck that was not permitted taking calls in the city of Mobile or presenting itself to take calls in the city of Mobile.
Have they had prior suspensions?
They have.
And what was the amount of time you gave for the suspension on this particular time?
This particular incident, I gave them 60-day suspension.
Okay. Is that the amount of time that the ordinance would allow for?
The maximum of the ordinance was 6 months.
Okay. Are you trying to put B&B Record Service out of business?
No, not at all.
You're simply trying to get them to be in compliance?
Yes.
And have they had other suspensions in the past year?
They have.
Okay, and what was that other one for?
In October of 25, they were suspended for an insurance violation, and then again the first truck that was here for the similar violation occurred in April.
Okay. Why is it important for the record services to be in compliance for public safety?
Well, you said it, for public safety.
Okay. I mean, is there, important to have the insurance in case they wreck into somebody?
Oh,
or
yes,
hurt
the
somebody?
insurance protects all of them.
Okay. And they claimed in their time that the truck in question has been inspected and been on the rotation list for 7 years. Is that true?
I have not inspected the 2017 Dodge in the last 3 years.
Okay.
I can't speak before that.
Okay. That's all we have.
All right. Council members, questions?
Madam Vice President.
Yes, sir, Mr. Penn.
No, thank you. One question I have is, it was stated that you only can have one, I guess, record out there per business. Do other record companies have, like, I guess, a person come out there, sit and let another record kind of, I guess, yeah, a personal record. Is that allowed? Or?
That is not allowed.
All right. So you can't have one to do the towing and then one to kind of send out to answer any questions or anything like that.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Woods?
Thank you, Corporal Hodge, for that explanation, kind of bringing us up to speed. Just a question, I guess. The unpermitted truck, the 2017 Dodge, and just to kind of reiterate, so obviously he was parked there, and from based on their testimony that they were dispatching calls out of that vehicle, and I guess at the time he's claiming that was using as a personal truck. And I kind of amount it to, if my personal vehicle was an ice cream truck, I'm not selling ice cream, I'm just driving around an ice cream truck. With that being said, that 2017 Dodge, was there a reason to believe that truck was intended to be used for towing that day, or maybe as a act of convenience, or is there a history with this 2017 Dodge, I guess?
Mr. Walker presented himself to the city impound yard that morning, presented his truck to the city impound yard that morning, and he checked out city equipment that morning. So, I mean, the intent was there for him to use the truck for city towing. He was lined up on Contact Street with the rest of the hired wreckers that we hire for Mardi Gras. He was there. I mean, he put himself there.
In the 2017 Dodge?
Correct.
Okay. And then, I guess that being said, and I'm unfamiliar with towing, never been towed, fortunately, during Mardi Gras. The vehicles that, as they're checking in, as they're getting the radios, while you're not physically doing inspections on these trucks that are on the rotation list, it is common practice, or is it required, that the truck that is going to be towed that day be there physically in the lineup per se before they kind of get dispatched out initially during the day?
The truck that's being used for Mardi Gras service and the driver, yes, they check in at the temporary impound yard.
Okay, thank you. And again, just reiterating, this day he checked in with the 2017 Dodge, not the vehicle that was being allegedly used on the rotation that day.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Any other council members? Ms. Ingram?
Thank you, Madam Vice President. Corporal Hodge, thank you for the information you shared. I want to follow up on the suspension for October 2025. It was an insurance violation, and you said something else. Or maybe not.
Well, the question was, I believe, how many times in the last 12 months were they suspended? Once was in October of 25 for an insurance issue, and the other was April 14th, which was a similar violation using a truck that hadn't been permitted with the city.
So April the 14th was similar to the violation that resulted in the suspension?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And last question. So the 2017 Dodge that was in the lineup, do you know if there were any other vehicles in the lineup for this particular company?
For Mardi Gras service?
Yes, sir.
I don't.
On that day?
I never saw another truck.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Any other questions from the council? Mr. Woods?
Not necessarily for this set, but if possible, after we're done here, if I could ask one more question to the towing company.
Any other questions for? All right, thank you very much, appreciate it. Mr. Woods, you have some follow-up questions for Mr. Walker?
The rules
Attorney?
allow for a 2-minute rebuttal.
Okay, come on down for your 2-minute rebuttal, and then we may have some other questions as well.
Yes, I have a question for Officer Hodge.
Well, just ask us.
Okay, Officer Hodge's email, hodger@cityofmobile. I'm requesting that the council would require him to provide his emails. He did receive emails. I'm looking at the phone and the proof of email of insurance sent to Hodge on that day. And, but, he's saying, oh, I didn't never get it. But I think they ought to look into that. And also the October 28, 25, they did have insurance, prove they had insurance. So, and we could provide those again to the council. I could send something today, but there's nothing in the ordinance that says you can't use a personal vehicle for dispatch. But in his company vehicles, those are personal vehicles too. So,
well, in order to get the radio, you ain't got to be in a wrecker. My wife picked it up one night in a Toyota car, brought me the radio over to Contact Street.
Yeah.
I didn't understand what you said, Mr. Walker.
Oh, go ahead. What?
Yeah, you don't have to have to pick up the radio. You didn't have to be in a wrecker. It was informal over there.
Police radio.
The police radio over at the temporary impound yard. because it was so congested there on Canal Street. We actually picked it up one night, the radio, in a personal car and brought it over here. It was just too much traffic involved in Mardi Gras.
That's all. That's all.
Okay. Any other questions, Mr. Woods? I know you have.
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Walker, tell me, just kind of tell me how, again, never been towed, fortunately, during Mardi Gras. Tell me how that day usually goes. Let's say you got to be there at 4 p.m. What do you have to do to, I mean, obviously you got to pick the radio up. What do you do with the truck before you get started for the day? The truck you're using to tow.
Before you get started?
Is there a certain area where y'all got to huddle up before everybody gets kicked out? Or what?
Say get there 2 hours prior, everybody goes over and picks up a radio that's got that night involved in picking up. And you pick the radio up and you can go sit anywhere. It ain't got to be Contact Street, anywhere in Mobile. And they would call for a dispatch tow or a ticket tow, they called it. And it'd come across the radio, we need a ticket tow, and somebody respond, yes, I've got it, other record services. But the thing is on that, some nights, a ticket tow, they would only call for 3. By the time I get to the impound yard, it'd be 15 cars in the impound yard. The city of Mobile records really wasn't going by ticket tows. It's we was outgunned, outmarked, with the city. I was competing with the city, or everybody competes. Everybody in independent towing competes for the city.
So at any given point in time, do the truck that you're going to be using that day, because you are limited to one truck for towing, at any given point, do you have to show the sticker on the truck that that's the truck you're using, that you're all in compliance to work that night or that day? Or what is there any type of, do you got to show that truck that you're using the day to the officers anywhere?
Are you referring to the recovery vehicle or
To the recovery
one that's
vehicle.
dispatching from?
The recovery vehicle.
No, you don't. You pull in the impound yard, the temporary impound yard, you ain't got to show the sticker. They don't come. Yes, Halen is over it. He don't come out and look at your truck. He just knows everybody by name just about. He just hears your radio, and because it's only a certain ones on rotation, and sort of everybody knows everybody in the business.
Gotcha. All right, thank you.
Any other questions?
Yes, thank
Ms.
you,
Ingram?
Madam Vice President. Follow-up question. You stated that your wife picked up the equipment the night before?
No, about 2 days before. We was working about every third day or something in the 14-day Mardi Gras period. I think I had 4 days to work. So one time, Halen met me in Canal Street with the radio. It was so congested. He brought the radio out to me. So each night, you didn't get inspected in the vehicle you was in. The radio was just something to help us dispatch without running the route, following, the cops around all night.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Reynolds?
Yes, ma'am. So the radio that was picked up 2 days before, it was going to be used on a 4-day shift. Is that correct?
Oh, you turn it back in each day.
Turn it back in each day. Okay, and that radio was used in which vehicle? The 2017 Ram, or was it used in the other vehicle that was in fact
Yeah,
permitted?
the 3 nights I worked, I was in a different truck. It had been inspected by the city of Mobile. I worked it. That's the truck I had engine trouble with. So I was going to let my other primary driver work Mardi Gras. I was going to dispatch for him. He has trouble hearing the radio and the jumble on the radio. Last year, he worked Mardi Gras, the whole Mardi Gras season. He said he'd never work it again if he had to hear a radio because it's too much. Listen, he can't understand the radio.
Which of these vehicles, and I'll just leave this for you, which of these vehicles?
You're going to be able to put whatever you'd like to on the record with the clerk.
Oh, yeah.
To submit her to the clerk. But go ahead,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I forget the protocol, sorry.
Go ahead with what you were saying
Oh,
about which truck.
which truck was it that your guy that you were dispatching for on the date in question was driving of these listed on your policy that was in effect?
It's going to be probably the, it ain't got a truck number on it, but it's going to be an International.
Okay,
That's that's my primary truck in Mobile.
okay.
I just want
One of
to
the-
get back to this radio. How many radios were issued to you in your
Just
company?
one per company.
Okay. And on these other occasions where you were cited in October and in April, were you in the 2017 Dodge Ram when you were cited?
No. I don't know what the citation was. The one in question, the insurance last year, And that, I should have appealed that. I didn't know the protocol on that. On that one, I've never in 41 years been without insurance in my company. What we had there, we were changing carriers. My carrier went out at 12:01 at midnight, and mother one picked up at 12, and Hodge was off 2 days. That was his 2-day off time. He come back in. I was in compliance. I've never been out of compliance with the city of Mobile as far as insurance.
And that cost you 13 days there?
Yeah.
Well,
And you
I want to
had
get to this
insurance.
2017 truck that's being told to us that it was not a wrecker that day. It was not a, it was a
Nobody-
dispatch vehicle. Okay, that's what is in question for me. So in this dispatch vehicle, that was a 2017 Dodge Ram, have you used it to tow vehicles in the city of Mobile ever?
Ever, yes.
Okay. And in the 2 previous citations you received, one in October and one in April, was that vehicle, the 2017 Dodge Ram, involved with either of those citations?
No.
Okay. And that 2017 Dodge Ram did not have a permit, correct?
Don't have a current permit of this fiscal year.
When was the last time it was permitted?
If I had to guess, 24. I don't think it was in 25. I've had windshield replaced. I can't go back and look at those stickers on it. I can go back. Officer Hodge would probably answer that better than I could.
Have you towed a vehicle with the 2017 Dodge Ram while it was unpermitted?
No, not for the city of Mobile.
Okay. Have you shown up to tow with that vehicle previously?
No, not with that vehicle.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? So just one more time, the Dodge Ram that we're talking about, you were using it as a personal vehicle at the parade. You were just parked, but you did have the radio for dispatch.
Yes, ma'am. I'll call.
And did you have another vehicle there to do the towing?
Yes, ma'am.
So the police
That-
are
that
looking
truck
at,
wasn't-
I'm sorry, so the police are looking at it as 2 vehicles, correct? That's what they're looking at. You had 2 vehicles there? I think that's what you're saying. And the vehicle that you were in, was it permitted that day or not?
It was not permitted.
Okay, but it was a second vehicle?
Yes.
It has been used for towing before, and you were sitting in it that day on the parade route, doing your calls?
Yes, ma'am.
Correct, okay. Any other questions? Thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Madam Vice President.
Y'all can go ahead and have a seat, thank you so much.
Madam
Yes, sir,
Vice
Mr.
President,
Reynolds?
I'd just ask, in these sort of matters previously, maybe not towing just specifically, that each party put their information with the clerk's office so that can be made a record of, and we can use it as part of our consideration on how we're going to handle this.
Right. Just for everybody's information, in these sorts of things, the council really acts as a fact finder to determine whether violations had occurred or not and whether those were justifiable for suspension. We are the judges for the appeal, and we hear the evidence, and then we are required to render a decision by resolution. And I will ask our attorney, Mr. Maples, if you will just provide a little bit more information about what are our next steps then as we go forward with this.
Sure, Madam Vice President. So at this point.
Can you speak into the microphone?
Yes. So at this point, if there are any other people to speak for or against, you'll hear that. And then at the conclusion of the public hearing, you will have 10 days to consider the evidence and render a decision by resolution.
Okay, so we have heard from both sides and we had a rebuttal. Are we finished with that part of it today unless there are any other? It is a public hearing.
You do have to ask if there's any.
Okay, all right. And I see Mr. Hill coming to the podium.
Thank you, Ms. Gregory. I'll be as brief as possible. And this is not a overt criticism to Corporal Hodge or an excuse being made for Mr. Walker or anything. While this is a public hearing, I think the intelligence related to this is too privatized for the public to have any serious scope about what this is. But based on prior incidents that have happened pertaining to this matter, we know that a few years ago we had a very deep dialogue.
Mr. Hill, if you would contain your remarks to this specific issue and not in general.
Well, what's actually going on, Ms. Gregory, is we're oftentimes focusing on the effect without addressing the cause. And so we got here because of probably something that took place a while ago when we were doing these towing concerns, and we had, I'm not sure what committee it was for, but there were a lot of committee meetings, which probably led to the ordinance that the city mentioned earlier today, which has us in the spot. So I think it's important that we know where we're coming from so we can know where we're going with this. There was a grievance letter that was given by Mr. Walker, and I would urge this body, seeing that you all have the investigatory powers, to look very deeply into this. There was something mentioned during this pre-meeting about compliance. And we need to review whether that compliance is constitutional or not. We need to make sure that this is what is actually leading up to us having this public hearing in the first place. And I want to make sure this is.
Mr. Hill, you were going way outside the bounds of what we are here today to hear about. If you have anything specific to say about Mr. Walker's appeal, you may speak to that. But if you're going to speak outside of all of that, that is not the place for it today. So I would ask you to contain your remarks specifically about Mr. Walker's appeal or specifically about what the police department has proposed.
Okay, we only get a little.
And if you don't have anything else to say about that, I would ask you to take a seat and not argue with me.
I would ask you to let me respond once you made something clear to me.
You were going outside of exactly what we're talking about today. And again, if you cannot contain your remarks to what we are talking about in this specific incident, I would ask you to have a seat. If you want to come another day and talk about towing and the ordinances and all those sorts of things, you are welcome to do that.
Okay, so everything that I'm saying is in regards to this public hearing, and I actually rose to at this point because I'm in opposition to any suspension towards Mr. Walker. If you would allow me to get to my remarks, you'll be able to hear that. We only have 5 minutes, so I ask you please let me finish what I'm saying. Again, I'm in opposition to this. I think that there needs to be entirely a lot more investigation that's going on. What has been presented has been inconsistent with what the gentleman has shared regarding this matter, as well as probably inconsistent with what we've seen in the ordinance. And I think it's important that we address that. So and I'll get to this about the rules piece of this a little later, but the 10 days that the gentleman has mentioned, the council attorney, I think you may need to take a little bit longer because there's a lot of confusion up here, and you're attacking the wrong people. We're talking about a public hearing. Thank you.
Gotcha, Mr. Hill. We are doing our investigation, and we will take 10 days to come back with our recommendation as to what goes forward. Thank you. Ms. Carroll? I'm sorry. Oh, yeah. We're still in the public hearing. So anybody else who would like to speak to us on either side, you are welcome to come down. But please make it about this specific issue.
Madam Vice President.
Mr. Woods, hello. Didn't see you over there.
Thank you. So I want to give clarity. Not only is Mr. Maples accurate about the process mandated by the ordinance, just want to remind everyone that this process is confined to just the record service for the police rotation. It's not putting anybody out of business as far as other record opportunities. The ordinance only specifically speaks to being on the rotation for picking up cars for the city. And so it is confined to that, and that's just it. And that's what we're making a decision about here today. But once again, I echo what Mr. Maples said about the process as it goes forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Woods. Good to see you. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am. Come on down.
I need to say my name.
There's a question about, since this is a public hearing, for and for against.
I just want to make a
So
statement.
we have had, hang on one second. So we have had, I don't know where Mr. Hill was on this, whether you were for or against. I know we had three speakers in favor.
You've had
Or 2 speakers in favor and 3 in opposition.
4.
You had 4 in opposition?
That's it.
So we actually have had how many in favor?
2.
2.
Okay.
And which side are you taking?
Everybody's side. Be patient with us. We don't know the process. Please be patient.
Well, this is the first time we've had one of these in a while as well, so we're having to kind of feel our way through. All right. Anybody else? Since I think we have gotten through all of the sides here. Okay. The public hearing now is closed.
Presentation of petitions and other communications to the council. Felina Green.
I'll leave that copy of that insurance.
Good morning. Good morning to Mayor and staff, City Council, and the women in leadership that is represented here today. I thank God for this opportunity to be able to speak to you about homelessness and homeless women in the city of Mobile. I come to you today. Oh, Apostle Felina Green. Okay. I come to you today to speak to you about homelessness in the city of Mobile with the women and doing transitional housing. And what I ask is an opportunity to serve you with homeless women doing a transitional home with a 3-year term, meaning we get them, we select them with an advisory board, we select them, we put 3 or 4 in a house and help them with team building to get them to home ownership, where there's sustainability. That's what we're talking about today. And I understand the mechanisms that we have to use to go about it and partner with communities to resolve this issue. Now, the Bible says if one gets saved, all heaven rejoices. So I seek an opportunity to be able to serve you with this. As you know, I've been dealing with homelessness and fleeing abuse and kind of seeing the other side of domestic violence and what the women go through. And sometimes I notice that, because I brought 2 out of homelessness this past week, what they go through and why you don't see a lot of them in shelters because of staying in that car, this kind of thing, but working. So I ask you, I got a community leader I'm working with right now that's dealing with that as well. So I ask you to be able to partner with you to bring sustainability with the women in this community. Those women that you see that staying in their cars in Walmart, staying in friends' houses on couches and in their driveways, where we do transitional housing with sustainability, where we teach them to fish. Not just give them a fish. We teach them how to fish. So it is sustainable, where we see people go on to be good homeowners and take pride in their community. So I ask you guys for that. I thank you for letting me come down here and entertaining my plea for the homeless women in the city of Mobile that we can serve. I do understand some don't want to be served, but the ones that we can serve that need a hand up, not a hand out, a hand up, where they need some tools and some guidance, like with banking, you know, learning how to bank and that kind of thing. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thomas Benton Jr.
Is Mr. Benton here?
Reggie Hill.
Thank you, Madam. Thank you, Madam City Clerk. Always good to see you in the middle, Mr. Gregory. Bring back these robust energies here in this building.
Feels like old times, doesn't it?
You know, just a little bit. To the citizens, stakeholders of Mobile, greetings. Reggie Hill is my name. I rise today to continue these pertinent conversations pertaining to city business. Before I begin, my mother succumbed to kidney aneurysm, so I want to commend the city on stepping forward on this and hopefully bringing more awareness to this. And it's good to see Director Snowden back here today. I want to address these matters pertaining to rules, economic development, and public safety. And I've been saying that I'm going to introduce some of these things in writing, but I think it'd be premature for me to bring that in writing when there's still some confusion about how some of these things operate. Now, we're all fans of the trees here. We all love these things about the animals and the dogs and things of that nature. But last week, there was a presentation, and there was a lot of stuff that was out of compliance with how the rules are addressed here at this body for this meeting. And so it can only be one thing. Either we're confused on how the rules operate, or we're intentionally discriminating against particular individuals. And that's something that we're going to have to become in compliance to. We want to see the best results for the city of Mobile. I think anyone who takes their time to come down here and address you all, it's nothing personal. I don't know how many times I have to say that. It's about the business of the city. For time's sake, let's look at this. We just heard a citizen just speak about the homelessness issue. I think that contributes heavily to the economic development of our city. And if we don't have the level of enthusiasm we have in all these external projects, then we're not going to see our city really move up to what it can actually be. We're going to have equal investments into initiatives that will actually prevent homelessness and actually go towards public safety. I don't have time to really get into all this, but we're not partnering enough with MHA, looking at the displaced citizens. We're talking about all these affordable housing, but there are people who are stranded, and that creates things that are not positive for the city of Mobile. Now let's look at this unassigned fund balance. We've seen over the past couple of years where millions upon millions of dollars have went into materialistic ventures that have done nothing to improve the quality of life of the city of Mobile. Maybe for a select few. There are a select few people who are benefiting from this for sure, an elite group of people. But those who are the least of these who need to be propelled so that everyone is uplifted, they are missing out on all of this. And then we're investing millions upon millions into these various vehicles and all these things that are not improving public safety. I ask that you would look into this unassigned fund balance and look at maybe $100,000 that we can put towards initiatives that actually work. People bring things down here that are productive. They're data proven. But for whatever outdated intelligence or fabricated intelligence or personal vendettas or things of that nature, we prevent ourselves from moving forward. So I think if we really want to stop seeing the hostility that comes to this podium week after week, we're going to have to make a bold move and do that. We all tout. Let's work together. Everybody come to the table. But that's a facade. And that's for not, if you're not actually doing it for everybody who actually wants to be a part of that. So for time's sake, again, we'll have to continue this later. Hopefully we can have some type of feedback from people letting us know that we do understand what's going on, and then we can present these amendments and actually make some difference in the city of Mobile. Thanks for yielding the floor.
All right, thank you, Mr. Hill.
Ordinance is held over. 64013, consider rezoning of property located at 1724 Michigan Avenue from B2 to B5.
So move.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Resolutions held over. 21237, authorized contract with Thompson Engineering for Mobile River Fender System Replacement. 01254, authorized amendment to agreement with Pyrotechnico Fireworks for Independence Day Fireworks Display Services. 08262 and 263, approving purchase order to Group 1 Ford of Pensacola and Hardy Chevrolet Buick GMC for SUVs. 08265, approved purchase order to Magna Forensics USA Inc. for 1-year subscription to enhance mobile device software.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
01255, authorized agreement with Mobile Museum Board for management of History Museum, Fort Condy, and Phoenix Fire Museum.
Motion to table.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes, ma'am, Ms. Vice President.
Mr. Woods?
Just a reiteration of what I said in pre-council. This is definitely not a purposeful knock against the management agreement or anything with the museum board. I do realize the place they're in, as far as having the previous agreement have expired, I guess, with the last budget year. So they are in desperate need of making sure that we work out an agreement. Just thought in agreements with the administration, just thought it'd be more prudent to, because there is going to have to be some ordinance changes to kind of match maybe where we are today in 2026 with that board. So it would be more prudent to offer the ordinance change and the new agreement at the same time. Had made a commitment to the mayor last night that I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that we work towards getting that on the agenda next week so that we can look at it in 2 weeks and get them back in the right position. So that's
Okay.
it. Thank you.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, it is tabled.
Ordinance is being introduced for the first time, 34014.
These
By
will
council
lay-
rules, this will lay over 1 week.
Second.
Consent resolutions being introduced, 03273 through 6285.
Move to waive the rules for immediate consideration of 03273 through 6285.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Penny, you want me to take this one separate first? Since the family is.
Yes.
Okay. 03273, honorarily rename the intersection of Stanton Road and Crestwood Circle to honorary William and Sidney Birch Circle.
So move.
Second. All in favor? Any discussion first?
Thank you, Madam Vice President. We have the family here of William and Sidney Burt. Can we get them to stand right now? I would like to give them a big hand. We're honoring. Thank y'all so much for coming out. And we're happy to celebrate this occasion in April. And so again, thank you.
I saw you all sitting up there. I wasn't sure what you were here for, but now I get it. Congratulations. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously.
31274, authorize the mayor to apply, accept, and receive grant from the National Fish and Wildlife Foundation for National Coastal Resilience Fund grant. 60275 and 276 are approving award of special bonus to the Officer of the Month and Firefighter of the Month. 6277 through 6285 are determining appropriations to Building Kings Foundation, Brave by Reflection, LaFleur Magnet High School, Jazz Art Writers South Festival, Liberty Learning Foundation, Precisely Pralines, Alabama Kidney Foundation, and Taking It by Force Outreach Ministry, public purpose, serves a public purpose and approved payment.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? They all pass unanimously.
CIP resolutions being introduced, 08286.
Move to waive the rules for immediate consideration.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
08286, approved purchase order to A&D Cromwell Concrete and Construction for fence, fountain, curb, and wall repairs at Unity Point Park. So,
Any discussion of this? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
who made the
Alright.
motion and second?
Pardon me?
Motion, who made the motion? Okay, thank you. Resolutions being introduced, 01287 through 23300.
Move to waive the rules for immediate consideration of resolution 08289, 08290, 08292, 08294, 09295, 09296, with the rest laying over for 1 week.
Did we decide on 295? That's the contingency money? I thought you were not going to,
I'm sorry, please withdraw 01287.
We didn't.
295 is not in it.
Okay.
Withdraw
Unless Dennis
08295.
changed his mind.
Okay.
And we did. All right, so include 295 in waiving of the rules.
The motion is to include 09295. After further discussion with Councilman Penn, it's important enough to him for me to call it and put it to a vote.
Thank you.
All righty then, all in favor?
Do we have a second?
Oh,
Second.
Thank
did we get them all, Lisa?
Yes.
Did we get them all?
Okay.
Okay. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
08289, 290, approving purchase orders to JJ Quality Homes and Major League Landscaping for storm drainage and vegetation debris removal. 08292, approved purchase order to Sandsum Equipment Company for camera system for stormwater system inspections. 08294, approved purchase order to Stivers Ford Lincoln for Ford Super Crew pickup truck. 09295, transfer funds from District 1 Capital Project, CIP District 1 Contingency Project to Grant Project Rebuild Alabama for resurfacing Brookdale Drive North. 09296, transfer funds from Capital Project Parks and Rec, equipment to General Fund for SARP CFTA Grant Program.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? They all pass.
Call for public hearings. 41301, call for public hearing to consider the proposed modification of a previously approved planning approval for property located at 4800 Moffett Road, scheduled April 21st 41302, call for public hearing for the proposed modification of a previously approved planned unit development for property located at 4800 Moffett Road, scheduled April 21st.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Announcements.
Start on my right with District 5, Mr. Bo Fleming.
I just want to ask the residents of Ravinawood subdivision to remain patient as they continue to redo the sidewalk project there. Also, District 5 residents in the area of the Land Fair, Dolphin Street corridor to be patient as that project is underway. Other than that, I don't have any further announcements. Thank you.
All right, thank you. District 1, Councilman Penn.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. I also want to join in with the mayor. He stated about Bishop State winning the state championship in basketball. So congratulations to Bishop State. They will be moving to the Nationals, and that's a great thing to have in our city, and we support them. Also, of course, today, St. Patrick, celebrating St. Patrick Day. I have my chain, the crying leprechaun. And so we're going to be thinking about some ideas in the near future, how we can highlight the great things, even with the crying leprechaun in the district. And then I will be announcing our community meetings in the next 2 weeks, and I look forward to that. Thank you, Madam Vice President.
Thank you. And District 6, Councilman Woods.
Thank you. The only announcement I have is just a reminder of the District 6 district-wide meeting next Thursday, March 26th at 5:30 at the Connie Hudson Senior Center. Thanks.
District 2, Dr. Ingram.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. I want to say greetings to District 2. I want to start by thanking you all for our Thursday, March 12th virtual chat. The ones of you that volunteered to be a part of some community actions, such as cleaning up District 2 through litter, also donating to the homeless. So again, thank you for your participation, but more importantly, thank you for volunteering to be a part of the solution. I also want to thank District 2 residents for their support, along with Delta Sigma Theta Incorporation, in terms of the District 2 cleanup on Saturday. We were able to clean up the litter from MLK, and you could see the difference immediately from that work, so thank you. And also a shout out to Bishop State Community College for your win, and also moving on to the national level. And that's it for me. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And Councilman Reynolds, District 4.
There's an entitlement committee meeting after this. Did Mr. Penn announce that?
He did not, so
Okay,
thank you
I'll
for the
defer to
reminder.
him for that announcement. No further.
That's it? Okay. All right, thank you, everybody. In District 7 last Tuesday, I was able to tag along with members of the Mobile Fire Rescue Department to go door knocking to ask people if they would like smoke detector to be installed in their homes. So they went through many houses. It was a lot of people not quite home yet at 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, but they were able to install a number of smoke detectors. Some were 2 per house. So there were about 170 plus smoke alarms installed in homes in the Druid Drive area across Ziegler Boulevard from Langen Park, where we staged. So just want to thank everyone involved for doing this. Chief Glisson, who worked with Captain Smith to coordinate. It was a great way for the fire department to be out in the community, as well as installing these smoke alarms for free. It is a great service that the fire department provides, and I just hope as we go forward, more and more people will take advantage of that service. I also just want to say a little bit about the Plantasia over the weekend at Mobile Botanical Gardens. It was a tremendous success. We had the preview party on Thursday, and I like to tell everybody that, yes, you need to go to the preview party if possible, because in some ways it's like a Black Friday sale, where everybody stands outside the door waiting to get in. Because that's where you get all of the best plants. And when you come back on Friday and Saturday, a lot of times you can't find what you're looking for. So it was a tremendous success. The weather held out, and Botanical Gardens did a tremendous job. All of the volunteers who turn out for this, it's just really remarkable what they were able to do there. And just thank everyone for their participation. With that, also, we have some more vegetation and debris removal today. There were 2 others that will be in my district. We have now 2 areas in Hillsdale, 1 in Carlisle, 1 in Princeton Woods. So they will start doing these very soon, and I know everyone will be happy to see this work happening. It's something that a lot of these neighborhoods throughout the city have been asking for a long time. With that, I will turn to the administration. Anything from you all? All right. Remember, we just have the entitlement committee meeting at 1 o'clock. Otherwise, do I hear
Motion to adjourn.
motion to adjourn? Second, all in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.